So I just watched season 4, episode 1 of Black Mirror, a show that I love, or at least I love the first 3 seasons, and we'll see about the 4th. Yeah, so I thought I'd record some thoughts about this new episode. The sci-fi author Philip K. Dick was, in his lifetime, unhappy with the classification of science fiction as light entertainment. Many readers consider the drama or the essay the appropriate modes for tackling questions of moral and social philosophy, whereas Dick argued that the sci-fi is ideal for serious exploration of moral, political, and philosophical questions. His novels and their film adaptations, Minority Report, Total Recall, A Scanner Darkly, Blade Runner, etc., are evidence enough. Sci-fi allows us to consider alternate worlds in which these philosophical concerns are played out, in a way that essays and realist genres simply can't. The sci-fi can delve with depth into hypotheticals and thought experiments. Unfortunately, the recent series of Philip K. Dick adaptations by Sony Pictures Television, Electric Dreams, were good but not great, I thought. Charlie Brooker's Black Mirror, now in its 4th season, is great, I think, and is a better illustration of Dick's point. Brooker has said the series is set in 10 minutes' time if we're clumsy. Many of these episodes are set in a more distant future than that, but his point stands. Each episode deals with a current-day concern, typically about the intersection of society, morality, and technology, and considers the possible near-future consequences of allowing these concerns to progress unchecked. My favourite episodes of Black Mirror's first 3 seasons include Playtest, which considers a future where virtual reality games have become so powerful that they can unhinge the player's mind. Shut Up and Dance, in which terrorists make use of surveillance and hacking to blackmail and manipulate individuals, and San Junipero, which proposes a technology that allows terminal patients to live on beyond the death of the body in a simulated reality. Now on to Season 4, Episode 1, USS Callister. Episode 1 of the new season of Black Mirror is about a man who forges an alternate reality in order to live out his fantasies. Robert Daly, Jesse Plemons, doesn't get the respect, attention, or the love he desires in his day-to-day life. So, in his evenings, he uses his technical skills to enter a world in which digital copies of his colleagues are made to praise and respect him. This is a darkly comic episode, set mainly in this alternate reality world of Space Fleet, Daly's favourite Star Trek-esque TV series. There is comedy in a socially unsuccessful man having his colleagues suck up to him and having better hair in a fantasy role-playing game. But quickly the line between comedy and horror is crossed when we discover that these game characters are basically human clones with all the associated fears and feelings, and that in this realm, Daly is their cruel and powerful master. This episode deals with the present-day issue of people neglecting their real world and favouring a safer, more pleasurable, alternate reality. Brooker is here commenting on the way many people in 2017 use gaming, entertainment, television, and pornography as antisocial ventures. Antisocial in that they can allow the expression of aggressive, dominant, or violent desires. For the person who is unhappy in his or her real social world, a manipulable digital world is a double-edged sword. A pleasurable wish fulfillment enterprise, but also a dangerous and addictive outlet for darker impulses. On the surface, this is one of the lighter episodes of Black Mirror, perhaps because of its brightly coloured, nostalgia-filled Space Fleet setting and its talented comic actors. Jimmy Simpson and Michaela Cole are very good here. Beneath the glossy surface, though, are many serious ideas. Beyond the concerns about antisocial escapist gaming, USS Callister also touches on cloning, desensitization through role-playing, social ethics in online worlds, etc. I like this episode a lot, but something held it back for me. Perhaps it was the combination of tones, like a clash of tones. The colourful Starfleet world and its comic performances clashed somewhat with the more serious themes and ideas. Or perhaps it was that the episode asks us to sympathise with the clones without putting enough work into explaining that they are real and sensitive people, not just digital copies. The scenes in Starfleet were funny and become tense, but they always felt less impactful and less real than the earlier scenes in the real-world office building. The stakes in this virtual world were unclear. Do the clones want to escape? Presumably, but if so, what to? We're told that they want to return to the real world. They remember and they miss their old lives, but surely they can't. The episode briefly raises the question of what death means for an individual whose identity is a young branch of an older trunk, but dismisses it quickly. Without really delving into these questions, the stakes in the Space Fleet world felt low, or at least uncertain. In Season 3's playtest, the scenes in the virtual spaces had consequences in the real world. The action in the creepy mansion had real-world and real-life consequences for Cooper. His very real brain and his brain health was at stake. In USS Callister, I found myself wondering exactly what the clones were seeking and found myself more interested in what their real-world counterparts, as I say, were up to back in the office. Of course, the final moments do reveal some real-world physical consequences, for Daly at least, but throughout the episode, a sense of these stakes was lacking for me. Overall, though, this was a fun, fresh, and different Black Mirror. And it still had the elements we've come to expect from the series: dark comedy, social commentary, and a clever sci-fi plot. But these things I mentioned held it back a little bit for me, so 3.5 out of 5.